Hey everybody, how's it going? We're looking at Earth for elements of 40K, and we're going to do the Earth element in depth. Um, so let's jump right to it. Everything introductory has been said in the fire video. Pretty much, um, Earth armies, and I have two examples here from models for eye candy. My AdMech Imperial Guard, using the Imperial Guard Codex. While I'm not playing this army Earthly, the Imperial Guard army has always been a staple Earth type army with their gun lines and their tanks. The other one is Commander Farsight from the Tau army. Now, while Farsight is very aggressive and very assault oriented, the Tau army itself can do gunline or static defense armies very well. Other armies include any type of Space Marine army with the exception of Black Templars. Every other codex, aside from Black Templars, can do Earth very well, even Blood Angels. Reasons Black Templars can't really do the Earth army that well is because they have that rule for a lot of the infantry. If they take wounds, take a casualty, they make a leisure check and then surge forward. Also, they lack a couple of heavy support choices that I view as key for a Space Marine army to have for Earth. The units that you can think of as stereotypical Earth units would be Devastator Squads, Whirlwinds, Vindicators to a lesser extent, and I say lesser just because of the fact that it's a closer range weapon. Wraith Guard, they're tough to kill. Any Necron unit, and therefore the Necron army is also a great Earth army, just tough to kill. Let's see. Other units would include Looters, even from the Orc unit. First, any unit, Broadside is a great example. Any unit that is shooting specialized and more staticky is a pretty decent Earth unit. Long Fangs, which are essentially Space Marine Devastators, are also a very good Earth unit. So also armies and units that are stereotypically Earth, or could be stereotypically Earth. One other unit I want to make mention of, a special mention of, is the generic Space Marine Codex is Tech Marine. Because of bolster defenses, the Master of the Forge and Tech Marine are a great addition to any Earth-themed army list, because you make one of your cover for each one you have. You make a cover save better, so you choose you don't feel too many. But even the Thunderfire Cannon, which is another good Earth unit to take, the Tech Marine for the Thunderfire Cannon bolsters defenses. So you can bolster a defense and put your Thunderfire Cannon in it, or your Devastator Squad in it. So it's a very good addition. Playing an Earth army, you pretty much, when you build an Earth army, you're going to have to sacrifice speed / mobility and assault power. Now, I'm not saying assault units don't have a home in Earth armies. They do, actually. But instead of fielding 2 Assault Marine squads, maybe just field 1 and have and place the other one. You can field a vehicle or Devastator squads, or more transports, dedicated transports. Transports have become crucial in Earth armies because of the lack of maneuverability. Also because of outflanking. Now you can deny the flank, or save yourself a turn of being assaulted by using them to block the path, essentially, from outflankers. But why do assault units have a good place in Earth armies? Let me tell you why. Your strength is the shooting. You're going to have lots of shooting, which means you're going to sacrifice assault power. Now, these assault units you don't send out to fight the enemy. You hold them back, and not necessarily in reserves, as in reserves to rule, but you keep them behind in cover, keep them out of harm's way. When the enemy gets close, especially if they're in an open top or an assault vehicle, or even in a transport, you can zip them out, pop smoke or whatever, and then pretty much steal the charge, or just use them to blunt the force. A Land Raider full of Assault Terminators from Space Marine Codex is a great addition to a what's it called, Earth-themed army, because then they can zip out, slam into the enemy to pretty much delay their big assaulter or the lead assaulter, deal some damage, maybe win close combat, and then deal with things as they come. Playing against Earth armies, outflank, maneuverability, even if they're mechanized, even if it's a mechanized themed Earth with like castle defense of vehicles, get behind it, get around it, hit side armor, hit rear armor if possible, jump over with jump infantry, jump over the transports, get the juicy meat inside essentially. Not saying you need to assault necessarily. You don't actually have to counter them with assaulting them. Um, but like if you don't play an assault team army, you can still counter Earth by just outmaneuvering them, which isn't the hardest thing to do because they don't really want to move their heavy weapons too much unless it's absolutely necessary. Earth, once you pretty much get in close and where you can, because I want to say they're going to be the best shooting armies out there, but they're going to have a lot of shooting at you, a lot of high range, high strength power at you. If you can get your rapid firing, smaller fire weapons in range of the juicy targets, you just rapid fire into them, you're going to be causing wounds and they're going to slowly falter. If you can take out like the broadside of a Devastator team with a well-placed assault or a shooting, that's going to hurt. Once they start losing the high strength and scary weapons, Earth army tends to fall apart as they're going to try and move, and because of that, they may have moved things they shouldn't, or kept things still that they should have moved, and waste their shooting that way. So if you're playing Earth, build and have a tactic around that, and don't be afraid to move. I've seen plenty of games where if the Devastator squad just fell back instead of firing that last volley, if they fell back and in correlation with the rest of the army's movements, they would have been alive, and then you could have fired into the enemy next turn. So don't be afraid to move as an Earth army. Earth versus air and Earth versus fire is you're gonna have a hard time against air because air is not going to be as straightforward as fire. So air is going to pretty much slip you off and get you where you're weak. With fire, you just have to shoot a bunch and pretty much kill them before they get to you. If it's Earth versus Earth, somebody's got to move, and if you move effectively, you'll win because you both are going to have essentially equal range of fire. I'm not saying not necessarily meaning you're Italian or long range fire, but in a space range Earth army. At the same time, the one that moves and gets into better position and forces the enemy to move to their terms against Earth versus Earth is going to have the advantage. What else is there? Earth is the other army that sets the tone of a game. And by that I mean, of the four elements, in my opinion, fire and earth set the tone, set the theme of at least how you want the game to go, or how the game will go. With fire, if somebody sets down an assault, a Khorne Berserker army, you know what they're going for. That's a theme that's been set. If somebody sets down an earth army, a gun line, you know what they're going for. The theme has been set. How you play against it has already been dictated, to a lesser extent. The other two elements, not so much, and I'll get into that when I talk about them. But that's pretty much it for Earth. It's fairly straightforward. It's not. I mean, it has own little nuances like fire does, but maximize firepower, shoot, move strategically with Earth. If you have to go and take objectives, do it. Use your transports. That's what transports are key. You're playing against Earth. Make them slip up. Get them where they're weak. Outflank them. If they do flank denial, attack them piecemeal. Just pretty much if you're able to make half of their army shooting ineffective, you're going to force them to move. And then when you do that, then you can if you're forcing the enemy to move where you want them to move, you already have the advantage. Now you just have to capitalize on that and strike home. That goes with any style of play in general. In my opinion, I just meant against Earth is great because if they have heavy weapons and you just the way they set up and you go up against them and you can deny them shooting for a couple of turns, that's essentially turns wasted that have to either reposition or just wait for you to get in range. So if you can maneuver that way, it's a plus. Again, Earth is not a weak army; it's a great army. It can be lots of fun to play, shooting a lot. But that's pretty much it. The next one I want to talk about is air. So take it easy.